In anticipation of Thompson Arts Toys Kid Buu figure, I figured this would be a good time to take a look back at the two best current Majin Buu figures on the market. And we're going to start with the one that Goku and Vegeta spent hours fighting each other for just to get released. The big energy, big power, big body, don't call him fat, Majin Buu. What's going on, folks? Kinda Collecting there. Welcome back to the channel. Now, if this is your first video, again, welcome. And if you've been here before, you know the routine, so what up, oos? Oh, by the way, Bibbidi Bobbidi Majin Buu, drop a like on this video and subscribe too. Or don't, it's completely up to you. When Figuarts does a villain wrong, it's tough because they're not likely to double back to it. See Perfect Cell. But when they get a villain right, they're second to none. Case in point, this Majin Buu. A figure released over 6 years ago still holds up in 2024, and here's why. The details capture Buu's essence and vibrance perfectly. He has many of the proper accessories needed, and they were able to get the most articulation possible out of such a tough character design. It seemed like Tamashii really took the challenge of figuring out how to make the best big body Buu possible and excelled with flying colors. Now, the figure's not without its flaws, but the pros far outweigh its cons. SHFiguarts Majin Buu is as close to a 1-to-1 recreation in 1/12 scale as it gets. Top to bottom, from his pear-shaped head to his soft-toned arms, and all throughout his expanded belly, all the pinks are consistent. His cape and vest are sculpted as one piece with the torso, but the paint on all of it is clean with no issues. The contrast of the metallic gold trim up against the matte black helped the vest stand out even more. The sculpting in the pants captured the baggy look so well. They did a great job recreating the soft yet sturdy feel of its hands and feet inside the gloves and boots, and the belt buckle has a beautiful shine to it too. Mine had a little blemish on the emblem, but I also purchased it secondhand, so that's probably why. But again, the metallic gold helps the symbol stand out from the rest of the figure without drawing too much attention from the main attraction. Overall though, you can tell Tamashii put a lot of attention and effort into sculpting this figure, and it shows. This is one of the better designed figures I've purchased from SHF. So for details, no surprise, Majin Buu gets a 5 out of 5. And when I tell you it deserves more, I truly mean that. When it comes to accessories, Majin Buu doesn't come with a lot, but what's here is good. There's just a few things missing that would have made this figure perfect. For starters, Big Body Buu comes with 3 pairs of hands. He's got a pair of mink minks, a pair of pointer hands, and a pair of grasping hands. Now, normally 3 pairs of hands wouldn't be enough for a Dragon Ball character. But for Buu, that's all he really needs. Fists to punch, fingers to taunt, and hands to hold his special parts. And by special parts, I mean this bar of chocolate, which is beautifully sculpted and already half eaten. Lastly, Buu comes with 3 head sculpts. 1 happy smiling face, 1 menacing smiling face, and 1 taunting sculpt with his tongue sticking out. Now, all 3 faces captured the joy and terror that Buu brought to the screen perfectly. I just wish Tamashii would have given us 2 extra heads, that's all. Buu 100% needs his trademark Buu expression to recreate his debut, and an actual angry head for when he steamed out the pure evil. Now, SHF did add an extra head for Buu with their Super Buu figure, and that would have been a great opportunity to throw in an angry sculpt. But instead, they gave him another happy face with his tentacle facing forward to replicate him turning someone into candy, which was a fun moment in the show, but not 100% necessary in my opinion. Also, that face has the same expression of his original one, just without the tongue. All in all though, what's here is good, it just doesn't feel complete, especially without that. So for accessories, I'm giving Buu a 4 out of 5. Almost perfect, but definitely incomplete. What Figuarts was able to pull off with the articulation on this guy is nothing short of incredible. Now again, I'm not the articulation guy, and POAs mean absolutely nothing if the figure can't perform the moves the character is known for, With that being said, Boo can hit any pose that I was able to find on Pinterest. His head moves freely both up, down, and all around with the help of his ball hinge and separate neck piece. His arms rotate fully at the shoulder. The butterfly joints help get his arms out in front of him a decent amount. The bicep swivel turns a full 360 degrees, and the ball peg at the wrists are straight, meaning that all the movement is going to come from the cutouts on the hands, and that works really well. He doesn't really have abs, so there's no ab crunch there, but his motion at the abdominal region is solid. He can go forward a decent amount, back is just not a thing, and he rotates a little at the waist. And the motion in the torso is only aided by the wide range you get from his legs. Now the leg articulation on this guy is phenomenal. The deep crotch cut allows both the legs to move freely around the entire cut with no issues whatsoever. So Boo can split and swivel like crazy. Now, I don't know what wizardry went into this articulation, but they definitely got some explaining to do. And that's all topped off with the bend at the knee, boot swivel and tilt, and toe hinge. Now, the cape leaves a little to be desired, but seeing as though Tamashii just got around to doing cloth goods with their Teen Gohan figure, I can forgive this 6-year-old figure for having a 3-piece plastic cape. And truth be told, it's not terrible. So when it comes to the articulation, Boo gets a 4.5 out of 5. Again, there's no poses this Boo can't do. And given the shape of this figure, it actually balances pretty well too. Now let's show some more of that articulation off with these shots. So there's no doubt that Majin Buu is a large presence on the shelf, but let's see how he measures up with a few other figures to get a better sense of his scale. And of course, I had to start with the two other forms of Buu, with the Figuarts Super Buu on the left and the Dragon Stars Kid Buu on the right. Now, I'm not sure what the specific height differences are supposed to be between these three, but I know that Super is taller and Kid is smaller, so they work for me. And fun fact, we are one day closer to the Tonson Art Toys Kid Buu release. So remember that time Goku held back on Vegeta to spare his pride, then released Buu, who paralyzed Gohan, smashed his wife, and then blew up the planet? Great choice, Goku. Anyway, here's the Figuarts Majin Vegeta, head sculpt from Tonson, and Beast Deities not Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now we have the three big bads of the Z series with the Figuarts Final Form Frieza and the Figuarts Perfect Cell. Frieza being as tiny cracks me up, but it's also a testament to how big of a presence he had on the show. And I don't know if Cell is in scale, but Figuarts still has the perfect Cell for me. Next up we have the two Buu besties with the Figuarts Mr. Hercule and Buckle Up B. Mess with any of these two, and you get sent to the grinder. Now we can start the big body wars with two of my favorite Figuarts Dragon Ball figures. Here's the armored and full power versions of Super's Broly. The sculpting between these three really show how deep in their bag Tamashii can get, and the scaling is just top notch. Switching companies, and next we have two of my Fex's thicker offerings with the big body backbreaker Bane and big body Dark Knight Returns Batman. And last but not least, here we have the biggest of bodies with Marvel Selects Hulk and the Marvel Legends Venom Pool. Now, he may not stand eye to eye with these guys, but he damn sure can go toe to toe. Now, scaling mostly comes down to your own personal collection, and for me, as long as the character scales close to what makes sense in my mind, I'm fine. And Majin Buu does that. So for scale, he gets a 5 out of 5. So if you couldn't already tell by all the praise I've given throughout this review, The SHFiguarts Majin Buu is a 100% hit for me. He does absolutely everything I need Majin Buu to do. His articulation does everything I'd expect and more. The accessories are good even though the absence of a is a miss. And he captures how I remember Buu when he first terrorized the Z Fighters onto Nami years ago. Now he's not easily accessible anymore, and on the aftermarket he ranges between $100 and $200. Thankfully I was able to get mine for under $100 on Mercari, but even so, if you don't already own him, he's going to cost you a pretty penny. So pricing gets a 3.5 out of 5, which will put the overall score at a 4.4. Now I was thoroughly surprised at just how good this figure is, and spoiler alert, even with all the accolades I gave to this figure, he's not even the best version of Buu that Tamashii has to offer. That's called a cliffhanger, folks, and that'll do it for today's video. In the comments, let me know your favorite first form Z villain. Is it Frieza, Cell, Buu, or other? Stay tuned for the shots at the end, and until next time, protect your peace, stay young at heart, and remember, we're all kind of collecting something. Peace.